Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I have a new game for us. It's called Assemble with Care. I found this game at some point summer last year. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, oh, that looks really interesting, and bought it with the intention of playing it along with you guys, and then I never did. Finally get into it. Little update on Lake. The last few episodes of the Lake Let's Play are coming. I am just having to sort through the files because of me moving them and around on my computer from the USB. The original date in which they were listed as are gone, so I've got to try and figure out what days are what. Also been using one of the little Wikipedia guides to help me, but I've just been having issues with it. As well as that, my Sims little mini Let's Play that I was so excited for, gone. The save corrupted. I can't get back into the save at all, and I'd already started recording like episode 2 and 3 by that point, and it's just gone. So I thought, like, there's just no point uploading episodes what aren't gonna have a future episode, fortunately. So without further ado, let's start with Assembled with Care. I love old cassette tapes. I love how they're coming back into fashion though. And then we're gonna plug you in there. Do you know what? I might get in the vibes of, I don't know why, it's just popped into my head, but Guardians of the Galaxy, no idea why. That is a very cute little intro that gives you like an idea of what you do. I also love the art style. It's reminding me of A Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Okay, let's get started.
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between. But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course, the forgotten treasures I'd given a new lease of life along the way.
I actually think this is like really cool. So it's not like, oh, this is a puzzle game, but it's not just like a straightforward puzzle game like, here's something for you to fix or create, whatever. You get like a little narrative and you get a story and like a picture on the way. It reminds me of like a kid's book with the illustrations and the stories. I love the art style.
I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs.
It's like, see that, totally off random. If you can either get a VPN, or if you can somehow get to watch a show called The Repair Shop. It's a show on BBC One in the UK, and they have like different experts for different areas, so like toys, textiles, metalwork, everything like that, and people bring in their old items. Like here where they put like Maria fixes stuff, they bring it in and they will fix it up. There was one episode and it was a bit of a tearjerker, I'll be honest, because they brought in something and it was a mother and daughter, and if I'm right in remembering, it was the mother's father's or grandfather's item. You got to the end of the episode and you found out sadly she passed away before she could see the final restored item. I can't remember what it was. But if you can, it's definitely worth a watch.
Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait until after I'd unpacked.
Let's get unpacking. So can we, oh, we turn. And then we clip. Just...
I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully I'm cool enough to pull them off.
I think you're definitely cool enough to pack them off. Pack them off?
I saw a
Pass 'em
guitarist wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll repair woman, at your service.
Do you know what? Maybe that's what I should do with some of my guitar picks. I have way too many guitar picks. Years ago I got given a whole box and there was pink, blue, green, turquoise, yellow.
My passport. Not many blank pages left now.
So we're definitely like a traveller that likes to go around. Ooh, a scrunchie.
Who doesn't love a scrunchie? Practical and stylish.
I feel like this has to be set in the 80s or 90s.
My parents took this after I made my first repair. Seems like a lifetime ago.
Aww. I wonder if her mum or dad's into repairing too.
The tools of my trade. No hope of restoring things without these.
That is a cute little toolbox.
Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this.
So she makes like a little documentation of everything she's repaired. That's cute. That reminds me, somewhere we have disposable cameras. I don't know if they're going to be any good now.
My favorite overalls. These will never go out of style.
That need developing. But nowhere around here probably does anymore. You never can go wrong with overalls. Especially like Charlene
I'll hand these out once I'm
Neighbours.
settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work.
I'm sure they will. Let's get going. Ooh.
Finally, I'd made it to Bella Riva. I'd come for the food festival, taking place in a few days' time. After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months, I was craving a decent meal.
Sounds like a good plan.
Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work. My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there, beyond the four walls of our antique store, that I had to be a part of.
Or maybe they were just not want that. It's not like they didn't want to let you go, but they were just scared to lose like such an important person in their life. But I guess like I feel like every parent in a way sometimes worries about that, but then they realise like, hey, their kids have got to make their own lives, but you'll always be there for them no matter what.
I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring out their stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires.
Maria would absolutely love the repair shop because that's what happens. Like, they bring in the item, they tell the story and the history of the item, of where it came from and who it belonged to. It's a really good show.
My
keep
story
going on
in
about
Bella
it,
Riva
sorry.
began with a little girl and a voice she was longing to hear.
Okie dokie.
It was my first morning in Bella Riva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun.
What I also love about the game, you've got like a really peaceful soundtrack, and then in the background you've got like all the ambient noises.
In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bella Riva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect.
I'm sure we'll find some things.
I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
Aww.
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore.
This obviously means something very important to her.
I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try?
Of course we can try, Izzy. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is this. And I'm probably going to show my age here. To say I'm a 98 baby, I remember
Why did you do that?
my mum telling me about this. So, obviously, if you're young, or of the age that did this, back when cassettes were popular, if the tape bit actually came out, you would just get a pencil, wind it back in,
I didn't see.
and it's good as new. Okie dokie, so let's get this. So, okay, so I bet you just need a battery replacement. Let me spin, take that off.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
I think they need a little more than replacing. I'm shocked that she doesn't need the springs replacing. That's what happened to like an old toy I had as a kid. Like the springs went because the batteries just rusted that much. It was really sad because it was a present from my godfather when I was like a really young little kid. It was two little bears that I can't remember what the bears did, but I know they spoke. Well, the power button is green, so let's get that tape in. And then we're going to play.
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must say goodnight. Good night, my darling.
Oh, is that Izzy's mom?
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're very good.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence a cassette tape would never be enough to fill.
I would feel so awkward asking that to a child because you don't know how a child's going to react. At least in Izzy's case, she just, you know, said and then went silent.
When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo. I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered.
True, but in fixing the cassette tape, she still has a part of her mother with her. And Izzy, you're gonna want to digitalize that when you get older.
Part I wouldn't be able to fix.
Oh, that's a very cool little statue.
My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs in and around the square. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make one more visit. The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening light, it looked beautiful, in spite of its flaking paintwork and chipped tiles.
I feel like though everything that like has a little bit of a chip or flaking paintwork it still looks beautiful because you're seeing a place's history.
The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
Are you Maria? My name's Joseph. I'm Isabel's father. I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking, I picked up a fragment.
Ah, my father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him.
Izzy and Joseph have got it rough.
It survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes with Isabel and... Do you think you can salvage it?
Nothing a bit of glue won't fix. But doing it in a way that the glue doesn't look
Will
visible.
you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks.
Not if I can keep a steady hand. Okay, I'm assuming... No? Is it that one? No, that's a leg. Oh, I've done the chest. Okay, that there.
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together?
Okay, is it that arm? Then it's that arm. And then we'll do the other arm. There's a lot of glue. And then we do that arm. You know what? We're just gonna do this because I do not have a steady hand. Okay, so then that goes there. And then that leg goes... Oh! There.
Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label.
And then we do that there. I don't know why the glue's just kind of flown everywhere there. And then we stick that there. And that's the statue repaired. Good as new.
Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom. They must both miss her so much.
He has made something of himself. He has a beautiful family. Sadly, he lost a wife. And he is mayor of a city, which I can imagine is probably a very busy job.
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for the festival. There's only a few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late. Again?
Oh no. And I'm guessing he doesn't get to spend much time with Izzy because of it.
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way of pretending it wasn't happening.
Or maybe that they just didn't want to say the wrong thing and upset you before you went.
Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hoped he was finding enough time for Izzy, too.
I feel like they're both still grieving the loss of a mother and wife though, and maybe he's just throwing himself into his work. Which isn't exactly great, but, you know, it happens and people don't realise. Ooh, bright red, bright yellow telephone.
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful sunny morning.
I love that you can hear the sound of the church bells in the background.
Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning coffees. I stopped, breathing in the smell of roasted coffee beans and freshly baked pastries.
I don't know why, but with the pictures, I'm just picturing, I'm trying to think of the Disney film. It's the one with the sea monsters. And it's set in Italy. That's the town I'm picturing, because the art style, that's what I'm picturing.
I was about to go inside.
And if
when the
Belravia
owner
is a
of
real
Carmen's,
place,
the
I
cafe next door,
apologise.
stopped me.
Hello, Maria? Were you here yesterday handing out flyers? I have a job for you.
Ooh, new cafe owner.
Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables inside, though, her potential customers hadn't noticed it either.
Oh no.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the counter and returned with an old rotary phone.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some, seasoning tips, but it won't connect. Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
Your sister must be a cook or something. But we'll try our best. Okay. We'll get the talkie
You
piece
can
off.
fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
I love how I've just forgotten what you
Obviously,
call that.
we'd normally be much busier than this.
And I've just called it the talkie piece. Right. There we go. Oh, that's there. Well, that definitely needs replacing. Let's get the bell off. Let's replace you. Put you back on. Oh, we spin left for that. And we take that bit off. We lift that off. No wonder the circuit has definitely burnt out. So let's get a new one in. Then we're going to attach you there. And then you there.
Looks like this new circuit board is all hooked up.
Oh, no, that one. That goes there. Then we get our screw. I wish it was this easy in life to just repair and replace stuff. Like, I fully admire people who can do it. For example, those on YouTube who do things like, this is how you fix issues with your PlayStation. Because for me, my fan is so loud on it. Then again though, it is 10 years old.
Still a few parts missing.
But I would not trust myself to do that, because I know for a fact I would break it. And I don't want to break it because it's doing me well. It can't play normal games because it spits the discs out, but you know what I mean.
When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
She hasn't spoke to her sister in a bit, has she?
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
Nope, it's ready to go. It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
What I love here, like, the expression, like, it's not like a full portrait drawing, but you can see, like, the expressions on the faces.
That's if I can pay my phone bill, anyway. And the rent, and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your coffee's on the house.
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone.
Hello! How's my favourite sister doing today?
As she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking advice.
Oh no.
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
So she's basically calling her sister to borrow money. And she hasn't paid it back, and her sister's probably getting annoyed with her. Or that they haven't talked in a long time, I'm guessing, judging by the fact that that was Carmen's response.
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
Maybe she just wants to visit her sister and see how, in a way, when you think about it, her little investment is doing in this cafe.
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh God, I have to get ready. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
Yep, we can certainly do that, Carmen. Well, Carmen seems very stressed about her sister coming. Ooh, that's a fancy camera. It's giving, is it Nixon?
The next day, I'd promised
Canon.
Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready
getting them
for her
mixed up.
sister's arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name. Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera? It's about time.
Okay, Miss Stressy.
The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things. I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
Your options are very limited, I guess.
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera. Any professional photographer's dream.
I bet it's an expensive camera too.
The viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong?
We can try. I mean, obviously, Maria's grown up in a shop where her dad's done various work and probably taught her the tools of the trade. Okay, let's get started. So let's unscrew this part. Nope, there is still a screw there. So many screws. Oh, let's get you off.
I don't
either.
suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
I love how that's her comment, thinking that we're going to break it when obviously we are not going to break it. Okay, so that needs to come out. Yep, you definitely needed a replacement.
If I use the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror.
Okay, so it needs to go up and out. Okay. There?
Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
Okie dokie. Well, oh, I'm doing that on the wrong part. So that bit needs to go there. You need to go there. That on the front, and then that on the top, and then your lens back on. And then we screw it all together. I thought that wasn't going to go in then. And then we've got this screw here, and I think that's everything. Yep.
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to shame.
I bet Helena saved up for it though.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition, the first of its kind. It cost me 3 months' salary, but it was worth it.
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford.
You could save up eventually. The more you travel, you could start saving little bits. Bits of change and whatnot.
It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she could afford somewhere better?
Or maybe because she's having to lend her sister money, she's like, I'm gonna pick somewhere cheaper just so she could save a bit of money, maybe?
She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing.
I hope that isn't her dig at her sister, but then we don't know the background of their relationship as siblings, so I can't comment.
Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
I hope Carmen's ready too. Ooh, Carmen's got a sign.
The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe. From the outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust in here, I'll never hear the end of it.
So her sister's definitely coming across as a bit of a perfectionist.
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop. Trying to live up to the standards of someone like Helena seemed like an impossible task.
And maybe that's perspective for you about you and your dad, like living up to his expectations and standards, and him not wanting you to go, maybe? And then you went anyway?
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Well, if you're participating in the festival, maybe you could win something that'll help.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I had this made when I first opened the cafe, but I'm hopeless with electronics.
So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of customers.
Well, hopefully once we get it up and working,
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try?
it'll be nice and busy. Okay, so going off the picture, that needs to be there, and that there. Okay, let's get the back undone. Oh, I haven't spun that far enough. Okay, and then you there, and we'll put you there. Am I missing something? Oh! Does that go? Why do we... Oh. Do you need to put glue on it? You need to put glue on it. Okay, and then that sticks there. You there, and do you go there?
I think the whole thing is supposed to light up.
Oh, there we go. I just connected them wrong.
I don't know, it's a bit flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
Okay. Let's get the wires out of the way a moment. And let's glue that in place. With my very bad gluing job, be thankful I am not a repair person in real life.
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
Okay, so we've got pizza, ice cream, or a martini glass. Okay, well we're gonna put the component in first. When I remember to add glue, that is. Just completely glued over the hole. Okay, so that's that part done. Now in the picture it had that, so I think I'm just gonna play it safe. I like the look of the ice cream.
It works! I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set.
There we go. Oh, I'm screwing the wrong way. Just need to spin that a bit more. I love it. It's giving me like old 50s diner vibes.
The sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door.
That's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple. Oh, I can't believe I might have to give it all up. I hope I've done enough.
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned to see.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't actually open.
For better or worse, Helena had arrived.
The cafe is open, it just doesn't have anyone coming in.
Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her.
Carmen is definitely very much stressing about all this situation, isn't she?
Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is getting rid of that hideous sign.
Excuse me, it is not hideous. Your sister loves it and we've just fixed it for her.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe hadn't disappeared with her.
Let's hope not. Let's see what next day brings.
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and Izzy's seafront house.
Honestly, I could not get tired of the sound of the sea by a house. It's just one of those really peaceful noises. And it's one of them, when I can't sleep, I will just fall asleep to the sound of the waves. Of course, through ambient
I
tracks.
barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Psst. Maria, I need your help. Quickly, it's top secret.
Oh no. What's broke now?
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for me to follow her. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden overflowing with flowers of every color. Nestled among them was a playhouse, its doorway almost completely obscured by a towering rose bush.
Okay, that sounds absolutely gorgeous. I mean, sure, the rose bush might need a trim, but it's like us where I live. We have a rose bush and it was here when we moved in, and we trim that every year, and no matter how much we have trimmed it, does it always end up just growing massive every year. It also comes out in different coloured shades of roses every year. It's like one year it can come out red, the next year it'll be pink. It comes out like a reddy pink sometimes. It's like a really weird rose bush. It's like a hybrid.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
Izzy took in a big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse. I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth. On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique shop.
I had an accident. I didn't do it on purpose or anything, but it won't turn on anymore.
I can't imagine how sad that is. Like, some obviously she loves, again, and it's broke, and I can't imagine her dad will be very happy if he finds out that it broke, because it's probably, for the time, that is quite expensive. Okay, well, let's take a look for you. Let's get the back off and your battery out. At least the battery doesn't need replacing. I'm going to take that out and then that out. That's burnt out. And that. Okay, so we'll fix the bottom first before the screen. Okay. Oh. I'll take that out. Okay, so that's good as new, but it's the little electronic part that needs replacing. So you go there. Oh, that goes up there. Okay, so that needs to connect to there, that to there, and then that to there, I think. Okay, so we're just gonna pop. Oh no, doing that wrong. Pop you out a moment. Let's take you off. Oh no, what am I doing? Because it needs a whole new screen because it's completely broken. There we go. And then that goes there. Nope, that does not go there. Does that go there? Yep. That there. And then that goes there. I think that's it fixed. Okay, let's get these pieces back on. Let's get the battery in. And then your cover back on. Okay. And let's try your game. And then we'll see if it's working.
Do grown-ups play games as well?
They absolutely do, Izzy, and they love it.
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was so hard.
And you also get some adults, Izzy, who will take the absolute mick out of adults who continue to play video games. Is that a bird? The music is reminding me of like Tetris and like the old Pokemon games. That's what it's reminding me of.
Toy fixed. I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her own. Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
Was it on purpose?
Why would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped it really hard at the wall.
She got frustrated with it.
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
My dad said I have to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress, and I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
So she got upset with her dad and she had her gaming console in her hand and Oh, I feel bad for Izzy. I feel like Izzy and her dad just really need to talk about things and just spend some time together and try and fix things before it's too late.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the garden. She was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was struggling too.
I can understand that now, as an adult perspective. Like, there were times in my childhood where I thought, oh, my mum's not spending enough time, and she was working her butt off. She was working her butt off to keep a house over our heads and keep us going. And as a child, I used to be angry that she didn't always be at home. But as an adult, I can understand why. And if I could go back and tell child me, hey, your mum's doing the best for us, I absolutely would.
It made me think. Had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view?
Maria's gaining perspective.
I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind.
Just pick up the phone and give them a call. Can't hurt to try. Okay guys, well that's where I'm going to leave this first part of the playthrough. I really hope you have enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one. Bye!